Now that Yuki has slain her first target, she must descend down into the depths of the pit. So Amoto is still dead. We can't backtrack, but we do have the Halperbot now. Since we've raided this bank tower, we can afford to purchase the final upgrade for the Cloud Sword. Cloud Sword's blade is now wrapped in barbed wire, and as we're going to see throughout this level, it is devastating. We got this door open now, so we can backtrack into the previous level. Of course, that's going to get us our first secret. The cat bead makes weapon switching considerably faster. As you can see, there's an animation. It takes about a second. Once we put the cat bead on, it will become almost instantaneous. May not seem that important since I'm using the Cloud Sword almost exclusively, but I do need the utility provided by lighter weapons, such as the grab attack, and I can't really afford that second in the middle of combat. So it's a very important bead to have. And already another secret. It's the mirror bead, it's useless. Just swaps your HUD to the other side. This room does, however, have a poster for Charlie Murder in the background. Charlie Murder was in development as an Xbox Live indie game while this game was being developed, and now, years later, it's finally ready for release as an Xbox Live arcade game. So we're introduced to two new enemy types. The gigantic Naginata-wielding cyborg is incredibly dangerous. On normal mode, we wouldn't be seeing him for a very, very long time yet. But on ninja difficulty, he's already in our face. Don't want to take any chances with him around. Takes at least 2 executions to kill. Fortunately, there's only one in this room. We won't be so lucky later on. And the computer monitor-headed cyborgs. They're basically like the bulky sword-armed guys we've seen plenty of times before, but they can summon computer monitors that shoot missiles. They can summon as many as 2 at a time. And after that, they'll continue to summon more, but the previous ones will break. Here's our second blood magic, the steel blood magic. Shoots out a wave of blades. So progress is that away, which means we're going that away. A sign in the background for Zombies and Pterodactyls 2010. It's another Xbox Live indie games title from Ska Studios. It's basically a multiplayer-only deathmatch game. So back in Goreface's arena, we find another amp, but this is the only amp in the game that repeats a solo from an earlier level, specifically the one we just played last time. So, while Yuki's replaying this solo, let's check out another feature from the first game. In addition to the Amulet of Shadow Skull, there's the Amulet of Phantom Rock, which allows us to summon the Phantom Guitar. Phantom Guitar is controlled by the guitar controller. It's got a variety of attacks, single notes. It's got 3 attack chords and 2 support chords. one summons a skull, and once the energy recharges a little bit, you can see that the other summons a bunch of hearts. And if you tilt the guitar up to activate star power, the Phantom guitar does an uppercut attack. Let's check out what it does. You can either have it hover over the dishwasher, or using the whammy bar, you can have it move onto a enemy and attack it directly. So it does decent damage, and it's particularly good at isolating and occupying an enemy's time. But if you can't get it to hover over one enemy, it has a tough time soloing multiples. So that solo earned us the pig bead. The pig bead makes food taste delicious. As far as I've been able to find through my internet research, absolutely nobody knows what this does. But I'm gonna put it on anyway. Maybe I'll figure it out. If I had to guess, I'd assume that it makes consumable items heal more health, but I almost never used them because Devil May Cry taught me that it was very bad to do. So now going the correct path. 60-second timer. And another invisible enemy. There's the steel blood magic. It's got kind of an awkward trajectory. It only goes forward and slightly up. So sometimes it'll miss enemies that are far enough away. Being slightly downhill from the enemies makes the steel blood magic much more useful. We've only got a few seconds left. Thankfully, the maxed out Cloud Sword is able to wreck that final enemy. And our hard-earned prize is Kitten Vitamins, a heal over time item. And since we got the pig bead, I'm gonna eat it anyway. For no particular reason. So we're gonna have to take a train ride to meet our next target. Something about the music tells me there's going to be some eventful occurrences on this ride. Yuki's prepared. The extremely low ceiling in this train car basically renders the teleportation and jumping attacks that these enemies have completely useless. First wave down. Basically, as long as we keep our back to the wall, we pretty much can't lose here. believe that's the first time we've seen the execution for the kamikaze. Now the midnight meat train has pulled into the station. We can carry on with our journey. Another gigantic Naginata cyborg. Strangely, the cyborg will jump backwards away from us for the most part, and he is neither able to walk nor jump up the hill. So what he tends to do is drop himself all the way down to the back corner and then fire missiles. So we just gotta avoid those while we're fighting these two-sword samurais, which are another new enemy. Still just as prone to suicide as all the other ones. It's important to know the range of their charge attack and their teleportation drop-down attack. Once you've got a good handle of that, they are not terribly dangerous, but you still don't want to mess up. The maxed out Cloud Sword makes these guys much, much easier. After an execution attack, you have just enough time to charge up the Cloud Sword enough to activate another execution attack, which deals them pretty quickly. So amidst the hanging bodies, we have another secret. The Cloud Bead increases all electrical damage dealt. Since I'm using the electrical magic and the Cloud Sword quite a bit, seems like a perfect fit. And another secret. That solo can really wreck your percentage down at the last part there if you don't realize the pattern, which is that each of those triplets starts with AX. So the Bat Bead is the final bead for this level. It allows attacks to heal you slightly. Figure with all the vampirism references in this game, it's a pretty appropriate bead to wear. It's also the most effective bead at regenerating health. Makes Yuki nigh invincible. So the boss of this level is going to teleport us away to an episode of The Walking Dead. These zombies are completely normal except for the fact that they're all black and they have the Jacob's Ladder heads, giving us a chance to regenerate health with the Bat Bead. I was going to put on the Bell Bead for this boss, but I kind of feared the Reaper, which I shouldn't have because this boss is very easy. continue to delay the inevitable by teleporting us away. After the first B prompt attack on this boss, you can stunlock him into oblivion by charging the Cloud Sword and releasing it, and that'll activate another B prompt attack, after which he will be knocked out for long enough to charge up another Cloud Sword attack. I didn't want to do that so I could show off his moves, but basically this boss is a joke. Despite the somewhat disappointing finale, I do think this was a very good level. I like that it was chock full of secrets, and I also quite like the improved enemy placement on Ninja difficulty. I think it really supports the difficulty curve of the game, which will be spiking dramatically from here on out. Look forward to that.